The incredible impression begins. July 8th, 2025, looking over the reflection pool towards the Washington Monument and the National Mall. I promised you guys we'd come back to Washington, and that's what we're doing today. We're gonna see some new things that we didn't see last time, and we might visit a couple old things that we did last time as well. So, let's go. First up on the list is the all-famous Lincoln Memorial. And look at this. They're building in the basement. A new visitor experience is coming to the Lincoln Memorial Undercroft. Oh, that's cool. They're gonna have a story, little pieces of how they made Lincoln's statue here. Oh man, I gotta come back and see that. Here's a map of what it's gonna look like. This is a lot of steps. Whew, I made it. The man himself, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. You know, this is starting to remind me of that scene in Night at the Museum where Ben Stiller and Amelia Earhart, the actress who played Amelia Earhart, was standing over here against this pillar, and Lincoln comes to life. Remember that? Oh, blast these pigeons and their incessant cooing. About right here where I am, right here, is where Lincoln picked up Ben Stiller and said, you know, you are very small, even for a regular sized man. That was a good scene, real good scene. And that's where the whatever it was, the soldiers, whatever they were, the Roman soldiers, I don't remember what they were, but they ran across here, and Amelia says, Abraham, freeze. And then Lincoln just does this weird thing, and then he says, you two make a very cute couple. And you know, oh, we're not, blah, 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 I never lie. Yep. Then that's when they turn around from here, and Ben Stiller says, come on, we can still get to air and space now. Let's get to air and space. And then Lincoln gets back up on his throne, or he's already up there, and he says, goodbye, beautiful lady and small man. I don't remember the exact dialogue, but it was something along the lines of that. This is a beautiful view, though. Beautiful view of the National Mall. I even remember in Forrest Gump how Jenny came in from the side there, and Forrest was down over this area, and there was a guy there that liked to use the F word.
There was this man giving a little talk, and for some reason he was wearing an American flag for a shirt.
I'm going to bring up some soldiers.
And he liked to say the F word a lot. F this and F that. And every time he said the F word, people, for some reason, well, they cheer.
That person, I do believe, was supposed to be Abby Hoffman, but don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Abby Hoffman. And of course, Martin Luther King gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech right here on this area.
Because I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
And a couple years ago, my friends, the Fab Four, the Ultimate Beatles tribute, performed over here as well at what was called Reason Rally.
Reason Rally, how you feeling? Are you ready to rock and roll? 1, 2, 3, 4. You say you want a revolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world.
I don't know exactly where the stage was, but I'm assuming it was probably somewhere around here. I think it was actually extended here along the side. Not sure. I'll have to ask Eric Fidel and Ron McNeil and Artie Saroff. I'll have to ask them. But yep, Reason Rally was here. Dr. Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and Forrest Gump.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Am I? I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
But of course, Forrest Gump was not actually, I don't believe that scene was actually filmed here. Plus, Jenny waded through the reflection pond to get to Forrest. I think he was maybe about right here, where I'm standing. The war in Vietnam. Forrest! Jenny! And that's all I have to say about that. But I'm gonna take you down here and show you something, because it's impossible that Jenny was able to wade through the water the way she did. The water is pretty murky today. I didn't think I was gonna be able to see how deep it really was, but thanks to a little something left behind in the reflection pond, I was able to negotiate why exactly Jenny could not have waded up to her knees or above in water, because I found this rock. As you can see, the top of it is sticking up, and if you were to try and wade through this, it may come up to your knees or so, but for taller people, it's just gonna come up maybe above their ankles, somewhere around there. But there's no way that Jenny could have waded through this up to her knees and above. It's just not possible. But again, a little bit of movie magic. We're gonna go over now to the Albert Einstein Memorial. Oh, look at this, look at this. Look at this. We got a plane coming up overhead. That's a Delta airline. Hey, I wonder if Adam LeWoo's on that. He flies Delta. Adam LeWoo's airliner? Found a shady spot. Stood there for a few minutes, but on the move again. We're gonna go up here to the Albert Einstein Memorial. And if you may remember, a couple years ago when Tony and I went to Pittsburgh, and we documented all the Mr. Rogers stuff. The bronze statue, my voice just cracked badly. The bronze statue of Mr. Rogers that sits by the North Shore was designed and constructed by the same artist who created the Albert Einstein statue. Let's go visit him, shall we? Here he is, Mr. Science himself, Albert Einstein. And again, this sculpture was made by the same artist who sculpted the Mr. Rogers statue on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Only this statue is a lot bigger, more on a colossal scale. But you got to remember, the artist who crafted this, he's known for, every artist has their little trademarks. He's known for the big chunks of what looks like clay just packed all together into a sculpture. He also, as I said, he also did the busts of Robert F. Kennedy. That is, I believe it's in the Smithsonian, actually. Not sure, I'd have to go look. Madam Ellie wants me to check out one of the Smithsonian Institutes, which we're going to go do later. But Albert Einstein, right here. A man of science. The Einstein Memorial. I'm gonna see who the artist was again. I forget his name. Let's see. Robert Burks. Robert Burks was his name. He did the casts of statues of Martin Luther King Jr., Ernest Hemingway, Mary McLeod Bethune, 4 of the presidents, Lincoln, Truman, Kennedy, and Johnson, and Robert F. Kennedy as well. The figure of Einstein holds in its left hand a paper on which are shown the mathematical equations that summarize 3 of his most important scientific contributions: the photoelectric effect, the theory of general relativity, and the equivalence of energy and matter. Also forgot to mention that this statue was used in the opening title sequence of the 20th season of Sesame Street. And also a copy of the Albert Einstein Memorial made of 100% dark and white chocolate was on display. One's on display in the Marriott Wardman Park Hotel here in Washington. That's pretty cool. But I do remember the Sesame Street theme song. It actually showed kids climbing all over Albert Einstein. And I don't know if I remember this or not, but a couple of the kids were sitting on his lap, others were just climbing all over him and stuff. Pretty cool. Have to come here to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. My dad served in Vietnam. He flew the C-130 plane. One of the names I really wanted to pay tribute to is right here on panel 1A, line 111. Charles E. Shelton. Okay guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Charles Shelton. I don't know this stuff off of memory, so I'm going to have to go by Wikipedia, but all I do know is that he is officially the last official U.S. prisoner of war from the Vietnam War. He was shot down. He was shot down and sent a radio report that he had escaped by parachute. A helicopter was dispatched to retrieve him, but was unable to reach him due to poor visibility. 6 days after his capture, his wife was informed that villagers said he had been captured by the Laotian communist forces in Laos. He is believed to have been held as prisoner of war, and his family was told stories of his courage while imprisoned, but he was never released or accounted for. His wife, Marion Shelton, sought to find him and became an active participant in the POW-MIA movement. In October 1990, she committed suicide by gunshot, apparently due to frustration and despair over her inability to find him. In September 1994, the Air Force reclassified him as killed in action upon the request of his children, and after a search of the area where he was captured, failed to yield evidence that he might still be alive. At the time of his downing, Shelton held the rank of captain. Between then and the time he was declared to be killed in action, he was promoted to the rank of colonel. Shelton was honored at a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, attended by dignitaries including General Merrill McPeak, Chief of Staff of the Air Force. You know, it's sad when your loved ones didn't come home or don't come home from war, but upon going to Vietnam, colonels, sergeants, everybody would say, most of you will go to Vietnam. Many of you, some of you will not come back. But remember, you are serving your country with dignity, pride, and bravery. And that's what America looks up to. You got to thank our troops, guys. Our troops are the reason that we're a free country. The reason why we live every day of our lives without fear, even with all the drama going on around us. And granted, this country is very divided right now. Let us all take a moment to realize that even though we all don't see eye to eye, we are all Americans. We're all united by country, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It just breaks my heart how everybody has become dog eat dog as every American goes against each other. Our neighbors, people who used to say hi to us, invite us over for dinner, people that we grew up with, none of them, a lot of them, want nothing to do with us anymore, simply because of our foundational beliefs. And everybody now is just so against each other. I don't know how to say it, but it's ridiculous. And my wish of a lifetime is that we can all come back together as one nation under God and be neighborly again. Put our differences aside. Put everything that we don't see eye to eye about aside. Can't we all just get along? Don't want to waste too much time in this area, guys, because there is a certain place that I want to be at a certain time, but it is not on the exact same date, however. But I at least want to be at this location at the precise time that this event took place. Where is it? And what is the subject? You're gonna have to wait and see.